Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting. We'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Audio capabilities are listen only and are offered on a best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us online by going to our website. Live stream is also generally available at tctvonline.com. There are some technical difficulties, but the meeting will be posted immediately following the meeting. So if you are listening in but would like to have the actual visuals from Jane Scott, you can catch those after the meeting. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to the public comments email on our website. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email public comments by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners Office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. Do we have anyone in the room signed up for public comment or online?
We have one in the room.
Wonderful. Okay. So we're going to start. Everyone in the room, thank you for being with us today. Please make sure you sign the guest list. We love to know who's here. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Fournier. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, public comments. I believe that it is likely April Bailey, who I see in the room with us. So please, April.
Actually, I'm sorry. That was a mistake. I thought I was signing in as in attendance, and I accidentally signed in.
Oh, okay.
I'm not stalker. I'm not missing.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for being. No worries. Thank you for being with us. We're used to hearing from you, so I agree. Assumptions were made. So thank you for being with us. Okay. Thank you for being with us today. Okay, we do not have any non-agenda items today, and as you have likely noticed, Commissioner Bell is unable to join us today, so Commissioner Fournier and I will power through. Okay, so we're going to start with our legislative administrative agenda, which is consideration of Housing Production Solutions Fund Grant Agreement number 2025 HPSF-6 with Home Start Oregon LLC for the Anchor Street 282 project. And I'm not sure if we have, I see Sarah with us this morning. So I believe Sarah Absher, Community Development, is going to carry that one. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Before you today is the contract agreement with Mr. Jeff Wong for his workforce housing project that came out of the Housing Commission Housing Production Solution Grant process. It is an award for $80,000 for the 4 units that he will be building above a commercial facility in Rockaway Beach.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Questions, Commissioner?
Nope. We heard Parker talk about this, so I'm comfortable just going with a motion.
Okay, perfect. I am as well. This is a great project in Rockaway, and we appreciate when local folks who have a passion for making sure that there's workforce housing jump in, and Jeff Long has done just that. So I think we are ready for a motion.
Yeah. In the matter of a Housing Production Solutions Fund Grant Agreement number 2025-HPSF-6 with Home Start Oregon LLC for the Anchor Street 282 project, I move to approve.
And I would second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. It always sounds a little silly when it's the two of us. I know. But it's all how it works. It just sounds a little silly. Okay, legislative item number 6. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Okay, item 6. consideration of a contract for goods with Tillamook Motor Company, Inc. for a Public Works Department vehicle purchase of a 2025 Ford F-550 4x4 Super Cab truck. Chris Lady, Public Works Director. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. So this went out for competitive bid. Tillamook Ford was the low bidder on that. The 550 is the workhorse of our operation. This is the core vehicle. We will eventually need to buy the box for it. This is where all the cold mix goes in the back, but we recommend that request that you approve the contract for $69,767.20.
Thank you. Questions or comments, Commissioner?
Chris, do they have the truck in stock already, or is it?
I believe they need to order it.
Okay.
Which is actually not bad because we're going to be shifting into that's a lot of our cold patch mix. We're putting hot mix down on the ground right now. So that truck, by the time we get the box, we need it by fall. So it actually, timing works out pretty well for that.
Fantastic.
Perfect, thank you. And just the odd question, of course, and we're retiring a vehicle, I presume, that has served this purpose for you. And dare I ask how old that vehicle is?
We're holding on to our vehicles. We're not quite ready to get rid of vehicles. The less reliable one won't necessarily be gone. But the 550s, we don't, we're looking at vehicles that are probably 12 years old would be the approximate range. We do have equipment that dates back to 1974. At that point, they make great vehicles. The newer vehicles, they just don't last as long.
Right. There's an age at which when they're older than that, they'll last forever. And then there's the point where we started making things replaceable instead of repairable. So
that's right.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I'm ready for a motion.
Okay. In the matter of a contract for goods with Tillamook Motor Company Incorporated for a Public Works Department vehicle purchase of a 2025 Ford F-550 4x4 Super Cab truck, I move to approve.
And I would second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Chris, I was saying it's kind of the Chris Lady show this morning.
Chris Lady show.
So number 7, consideration of a prevailing wage contract for construction with Lida Excavating, Inc. for the East Creek Road retaining wall project.
So this project is one of the final of the 2015 storm events. So we're almost done with that storm event. This was went out for competitive bid. It got hung up in the environmental world, and then in order to access the retaining wall on the lower end, we needed permission on Forest Service property to get to the lower end of that wall. Got hung up on that. So this one has undergone quite a long delay to get us to the point that we're ready to push it out. Lida Excavating, Inc. is a known entity. They did the Oceanside ramp, the staircases that went through there. So they are a good contractor. They can get it done in a timely manner. Their bid was less than the engineers. They are the low bidder. Recommend approval for them to construct the mechanically stabilized earth wall.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner?
I've got nothing.
Nope, 2015 is a storm we would really like to put behind us. Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
Okay. Madam Chair, in the matter of prevailing wage contract for construction with Lida Excavating Incorporated for the East Creek Road retaining wall project, I move to approve.
I would second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 8, consideration of a contract for goods with SC Paving Company for the Tillamook County 2025 asphalt procurement project.
So last week we did notice of intent to award. We went out for a competitive bid. We received 3 bids, and of the 3 bids, the contract allowed us to contract with each of the 3. So this one and the next one we'll talk about. The dollar amount associated with this is $500,000. What it locks us in at is the cost per ton of asphalt. That is tied to a metric so that when we, excuse me, if the cost of oil, asphalt oil that goes in the asphalt, if that escalates up, they can adjust their prices. So that way we can do that. It's on a monthly basis. So this allows us to buy tons. We just go and pick it up like we normally do, up to $500,000.
I just have Chris, a few weeks ago, maybe longer than that, you talked about asphalt prices. I was just wondering how they're doing, I know you have a chart in your office that you're tracking, and I was just wondering how that's been looking.
Surprisingly good. We anticipated that we're starting this year for some of these companies lower than we started last year. So we are further along in the war with Ukraine. The tariffs haven't really, who knows where the negotiation is going to end up with that. It could be a nothing. But yeah, as of now, it's actually less expensive for us to purchase asphalt than it was this time last year.
Great.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Buy some more.
Right, exactly. Stock up, can you?
Yeah, we'll buy up to $1 million worth of asphalt. The question is, how many tons of asphalt can we buy up to that point?
$1 million, sure. All right. Okay. I think we're ready for a motion.
Okay. I'm Chair, in the matter of a contract for goods with SC Paving Company for the Tillamook County 2025 asphalt procurement project, I move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Should we just do a motion for the second one since?
We have to read it in and then motion it, I believe. So, item 9, consideration of a contract for goods with Road and Driveway Company for the Tillamook County 2025 asphalt procurement project.
Anything more on this, Chris? Or?
Indifferent?
The only other comment with that is Road and Driveway is located south of Lincoln City. So when we have difficulty purchasing asphalt from other sources, they are a backup plan for going out and purchasing material. There are times when we're working in the far south where it makes sense to acquire asphalt from them. They are the lowest of all of the three people that gave us quotes.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready.
In the matter of a contract for goods with Road and Driveway Company for the Tillamook County 2025 asphalt procurement project, I move to approve.
I would second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. I know. He was like, camera off. Okay, moving on to item number 10. Consideration concerning initiating Title III projects for fiscal year 2024-2025. We have Isabel Gilda, Administrative Analyst, with us, and I see Under Sheriff Kelly. I'm sure for any technical questions on the grant itself, so please join us.
Chris did move really fast.
I know he did. I looked up to say goodbye, and he was like, God, man.
So, good morning, Commissioners. You have before you a motion to initiate Title III projects. Yeah, that is to be read today, aloud today at today's board meeting, if the board agrees to move this forward. So I'm going to read the information about the Title III. To give a brief overview of Title III funds, these are not county funds, they're general fund money. It's pass-through funds from the federal government, so to make that clear. So as a county that contains national forests and receives timber and other land use revenues derived from these forests, we are permitted by federal law to allocate up to 7% of these payments to projects that are permitted under the Title III of the Secure Rural School and Community Self-Determination Act of 2000. It's quite a mouthful, which is Public Law 110-343. And is amended by Public Law 115-141, enacted in 2018. So the first step today is to initiate the projects specifically required under the Act, and we only received one application today. So currently there are 4 authorized uses for the Title III funds, and those are activities under the FireWise Community Program with the intent of providing homeowners in fire-sensitive areas with education and assistance to reduce the risk of wildfires. And that's the most popular. That's the Yard to Be program. And the second one, search and rescue and other emergency services, including firefighting and law enforcement patrols on federal land as defined by the Act. The third use is training costs and equipment purchases directly related to emergency services. And fourth one is develop and carry out community wildfire protection plans. And I believe ODF already completed that in 2020 with a Title III grant. At the end of March, the amount of money available for the project funds was $100,000. And I advertised a 21-day solicitation period on April 8th of this year in the Headlight Herald. And as I said, we received one project application by the deadline of April 29th, 2025. And the application was the Search and Rescue Incident Command Trailer from the Sheriff's Office. And the ask was $215,000. So I provided you with a motion with the language which is required by the Act. If this motion is approved, the next step is a 45-day public comment period, and which is also required by the Act. And that begins on May 20th, when I'll publish the notice in the Headlight Herald. And that's followed by a public hearing on July 16th. So at the July 16th hearing, the board will review the application, consider comments received, make any adjustments deemed appropriate, and take the final step of obligating funds. Today, we're just going to initiate the application, but the public hearing will obligate the funds to the selected project as specifically required under the Act. As of today, we don't anticipate any more Title III funds being awarded for the next fiscal year. So this is what we currently have on hand to start the initiation process.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Commissioner, do you have any questions?
Under Sheriff Kelly is here if you have any questions regarding the incident command trailer.
You don't have any questions? Okay, so I think the only question I have is, I thought you said we had 100,000 available?
It's approximately 100,000.
Oh, okay, because we have 103 in here. I just wanted to make sure we were all aligned.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
In the application?
In the application.
Yeah, that's what they're asking. They have additional funding, so the Title III funds is just approximately 100.
Okay, because their application listed, which I appreciate, because the reason it's important that we have other funds is that the Title III funds are for federal lands, and we know that this trailer is going to be exceptionally useful across the county. And I appreciate that there are 18,000 funds from donations, 94,000 from the Sheriff's Trust Fund, and then it lists 103 from Title III.
So the balance of 100,000 was as of March. So I think there's interest that has accrued on that money, so there may be 103, so that's why you say it's approximately 100,000.
So when we do the actual award in, I think you said July,
right,
we look at what we have at that time and make sure we're all tying our bow together.
And if we don't award 103,000, that money would just be, would come out of his additional sources of funding.
Yes, yeah. Okay, perfect. No, and this is really exciting because we have been talking about and applying small amounts of funding, I believe, to this trailer for quite some time, or it's been in the works, and it looks like maybe that funding is all together now. Is that true?
Yeah, essentially, it's been a project of the sheriff's interest for a couple of years,
yeah.
And I think it has daylight.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity to where it can be successful. It's a substantial amount of money, and with the success of the search and rescue banquet, along with Title III, we're close to where it's reachable. And a couple years ago, it really wasn't. It's not a cheap item, so we have to be creative and find alternate funding sources to get there.
Yeah, which is excellent. The only other thing I'll bring up is because I know that people love the Firewise program, and so if you're watching and thinking, how come Department of Forestry didn't apply this year? It's because they received other funding for the Firewise program. So the Firewise program is still happening. There are still vouchers for people to take their yard waste for free to the transfer stations. The vouchers can be picked up at the Department of Forestry. They can be picked up at the Public Works office. There was one other place.
And I think they have them at the transfer stations also.
And they may have them at the transfer station.
I've
Okay.
used the resource myself.
Perfect. And at the transfer station.
And I think you can download them online too.
Perfect. Just so everyone's clear, we're not missing the Firewise program this year.
No,
I remember it
not.
started a little bit late one year because the grant funds came late, and we heard a lot from the public about how valuable and important this particular project of Firewise is. So I don't want people to think that that is not happening. It's just they have other funding, which again makes this really exciting because we can move this project forward. So
the Board of Commissioners last year obligated all of the Title III funds to the URDB program last year. and they confirmed they would not be applying this year. They had alternative funding. So.
Thank you. Just good to.
And then the vouchers are out there now. So
Excellent. All right.
Should I read this?
I believe we are ready for the motion, which is what you have in front of you.
Okay. The Tillamook County Board of Commissioners is required to initiate any projects under Title III of the Secure Rural Schools and Community Self-Determination Act of 2000. The county received one Title III project application for fiscal year 2024 to 2025 by the deadline of April 29th, 2025. The required 45-day comment period beginning on May 20, 2025 will provide an opportunity for public input on the project. A public hearing will follow on July 16th, 2025. At that time, the Board of Commissioners will consider any comments received, make any appropriate adjustments, and obligate the funds to the project selected. I make a motion to initiate the project as submitted.
Thank you. I will second that motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, thank you,
That one.
Isabel.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank
know
Matt.
that's a very prescribed federal process. That
Matt, you're doing a great job still. So I appreciate it. He always wants a little bit of love.
Okay, item 11, consideration of an order in the matter of a notice of intent to award a contract for the Retirement System Administration Services. Rachel Haggerty, Chief Administrative Officer. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you today is a notice of intent to award to change our retirement system administrative services provider. Over the last couple of years, the county has investigated retirement restructuring opportunities as well as alternatives to the current services that we receive administering the retirement plan. Last year, the board decided that beginning January 1 of 25 that all new employees would go into the state's PERS system. Concurrent with the transition to PERS, the county solicited proposals for retirement plan administrative services. Currently, a team of 4 firms manage the county's defined benefit plan, which is now closed to new employees. First is Principal Financial Group. They are the plan administrator and custodian of the plan. This firm manages and oversees the county's current retirement program. The fund advisor and administrator of the investment portfolio is Retirement Consulting Group, which is John Upton, who we've been with for a very long time. Our actuary is Milliman, and our legal counsel is Hirschner Hunter. So through this RFP process, there was some flexibility to kind of pick and choose services, and after a lengthy staff review and interview process, the county decided that at this time the best change would be to shift the fund advisor and administration of the investment portfolio, so consulting and advising on how to invest the planned funds, from Retirement Consulting Group to RVK. So before you, as I said, is the notice of intent to award. If approved by you today, we begin the protest period, and at the May 28th meeting would be the contract for your consideration. The contract contemplates a 5-year initial effective date with a right to exercise 2 1-year extensions at the end of that. The effective date would begin, well, you'll be signing it, considering it on May 28th. The start date would not begin until July 1. That would be following the termination notice that we send to Retirement Consulting Group. The fee for the service is initially $70,000. This is locked in for 2 years, and then it would increase annually by the greater of 3% of the percentage, or the percentage of change in the consumer price index for the previous 12 months, up to a maximum of 5%. Generally, the duties that they would provide is acting as a co-fiduciary for the county, providing investment consulting advice, monitoring our portfolio, quarterly investment monitoring, and attending up to 4 client meetings a year. And there's additional services that they can provide at an additional hourly rate, but that's the core of their scope of work. So the notice of intent to award is ready for your consideration.
Perfect, thank you. Commissioner, any questions? I think we did much of this before you, so. Okay.
No,
You're good.
I'm good.
Okay, I think it's, we decided it was time to go out for an RFP and to really revisit and make sure the service providers we had were the right service providers at the right cost. And we are excited to work with RVK. So I think we are ready for a motion.
Okay. Madam Chair, in the matter of an order number 25-024, in the matter of a notice of intent to award a contract for retirement systems administration services, I move to approve.
I would second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we do have a couple of executive sessions today. Do you have any board concerns that you'd like to bring up prior to that, as we will not be expected to make any decision? We will just come out to close the meeting. Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and read our announcements then, so that we can just sort of wrap up what we're here to do today, other than our executive sessions. So a public workshop of the Solid Waste Budget Committee will be held on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. The workshop will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. A public workshop of the Tillamook County Budget Committee will be held on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025 at 1 p.m. The workshop will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. There is no board briefing scheduled for Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. The Local Public Safety Coordinating Council teleconference will be held on Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 12 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 155-859-952#. A public workshop of the Tillamook County 4-H Extension Service Budget Committee will be held on Thursday, May 22nd, 2025 at 11 a.m. The workshop will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room in 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. The Commissioners will hold an executive session pursuant to ORS 109.660 sub 2 sub D to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. The executive session will be held on Friday, May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106, Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The executive session is not open to the public. The Tillamook County Courthouse, located at 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon 97141, will undergo essential infrastructure and system upgrades to its elevator beginning Thursday, June 5th, 2025 through Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. During this time, the elevator will be out of service, but all courthouse and county offices will remain open to the public. Visitors are encouraged to call ahead for appointments and reschedule if possible to minimize disruption and ensure accessibility during the upgrade period. Accessibility accommodations include basement offices can be accessed via the rear basement ramp. A temporary front access ramp will be installed, allowing entry to the south entrance and first floor offices, and individuals requiring access to second floor services will be assisted in designated areas located in the basement or first floor, depending on the nature of the business. We appreciate the public's patience and understanding as we complete these necessary improvements to enhance accessibility and service. With that, we will recess this board meeting at 9:29 a.m. We're going under
192.6.2H, that's to consult with counsel about pending or threatened litigation.
Perfect, thank you.
Joel's online and he'll take it from there.
Okay, so again, we will recess at 9:29. Okay, thank you. We will return to this board meeting at 11:12 a.m. and we will adjourn this board meeting at 11:12 a.m.